Manager exposed after barking, "Get out," at black man in wheelchair, the amazing truth revealed. Sam sat in the conference room as the fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, his mind racing with contradictions. Just last week, he had presented an innovative data model poised to boost profits for the company, yet here he was, staring down at his wheelchair wheels, feeling every ounce of the weight that came with being underestimated. The pulse of Chicago outside his window thrummed with life, a stark contrast to the silence he faced from colleagues who only saw his race and his condition, not the value he brought to the table. The tension in the room spiked when the door swung open, and Jake, the new manager, walked in like a force of nature. Initially, Sam felt hope. Maybe this fresh face would recognize the hard work and late nights he had poured into his analyses. But that optimism shattered faster than glass when he finally spoke up about a project, offering insights that could improve efficiencies. Jake's response was as swift as it was brutal: "Get out." The command reverberated through the space, puncturing the brief silence. Laughter erupted from a corner of the room, laced with relief that it hadn't been them on the receiving end. Sam's cheeks burned with embarrassment. Humiliation clawed at him, a feeling that was all too familiar. The feeling of isolation gnawed at him as he fought to steady his breathing. A question battered inside his mind: was he an outlier, a disruption that needed silencing? How many times could he shove his worth onto the table only to have it pushed back? As conversations resumed around him, Sam's chest tightened with the memories of childhood, where he learned, through the wisdom of his grandmother, that dignity was fought for, not given. "Don't let ignorance define you," she had told him countless times, her voice a comforting resonance through his turbulent thoughts. "Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Fueled by her spirit, he found himself grappling with a brewing storm within him. He decided not to remain a silent shadow cast by Jake's aggressive bravado. Yet, as he began to gather the hidden talents of his colleagues, those who, like him, felt smothered by Jake's toxic leadership, the enormity of his task weighed heavily on him. Would they join him in standing up? Or would they huddle together in silence, shielding themselves against the fallout? He reached out to a veteran executive who had scaled past similar barriers, listening intently to stories of prejudice and strategies to confront the system, but doubt lingered. Sam faced the truth that not everyone shared his resolve. Some clung to their privilege, while others feared losing their jobs. The ambivalence left him at a crossroad. Inspiration battled against trepidation, and with every thought, he was reminded of the pressure that came with being both unique and vulnerable. Pushing forward felt daunting. The eyes of his peers were fixed upon him, unyielding and hungry for a performance. Now standing on the precipice of change, he prepared for the moment that could reclaim his voice, his dignity. Yet the thought of unveiling Jake's ignorance sent shivers down his spine. Would he find support, or would his colleagues turn their backs in fear? The air vibrated with tension as he approached each day with a heart weighed down by uncertainty. And as Sam prepared his findings, the question loomed larger than ever: could he rewrite the narrative, or would he retreat into the shadows once more? The subsequent silence welcomed a climax that he could no longer ignore, a moment that hung precariously, just waiting to explode. Sam's night was restless. He tossed and turned, replaying the humiliation from the conference room like a film stuck on a loop. Each time his mind recoiled from Jake's cruel outburst, it was as if a wave of anger washed over him, igniting a firestorm of determination. The tension had reached a breaking point. It was no longer about just him. The question of his worth had snowballed into a broader dilemma. How could he stand up for himself in a place that suffocated individuality? He woke early, the light breaking through his apartment window with a new sense of urgency. Today would be different. He embarked on crafting a detailed proposal that not only detailed his projects but also laid the foundation for addressing the toxic culture brought on by Jake's leadership. Sam reached for his laptop, fingers poised over the keyboard as fear mingled with clarity. He had to put into words what so many felt but remained voiceless about, become the conduit for change. That he punctuated his proposal with facts and figures, demonstrating not just potential profits but also fostering an inclusive environment that thrived on diverse ideas. As he worked, he found solace in the task. He understood the importance of softly challenging the status quo, threading resilience into every paragraph. Around midday, inspired and buoyed by adrenaline, Sam planned to take a stand. He didn't merely want to confront Jake, he needed allies in this journey, those who had cringed at his humiliation and felt the depths of discomfort that a poorly set tone could establish. With this in mind, he shot off an email to his colleagues, inviting them to meet in a neutral space to discuss not only the project but also how they could collectively address the growing toxicity of their environment. "How can we let this continue?" he wrote, tapping into their shared frustrations. "It's time to explore the talents we each bring to the table, beyond fear and prejudice. We deserve to have a voice." Each word was chosen deliberately, a rallying cry he yearned for his colleagues to feel. He hoped they would glimpse the possibilities of unity. As the hours passed, the responses trickled in. Some offered support, hesitant yet hopeful, others were skeptical, cloaked in survival instincts. The mix left Sam on edge. The trepidation surrounding their immediate futures stoked a fire within him. Would they meet him at this crossroads? When the meeting time approached, a knot of anxiety twisted in his stomach. He wheeled into the coffee shop, heart racing as he surveyed the crowd. Faces began to filter in, doubt mingling with anticipation. Each person was a signal, a movement toward change, or perhaps another reflection of fear. As he began to speak, his voice trembled initially, but gradually it solidified into a commanding presence. "I know we've all felt it the way Jake stifles us, dismisses our contributions. We have valuable insights, let us not let ignorance keep us from showcasing what we can achieve together." He paused, locking eyes with each colleague, searching for affirmations, lingering doubts. The atmosphere shifted. He could feel it like the rustling of leaves before a storm. Conversations erupted, voices overlapping, some expressing agreement, others venturing skepticism. Yet each voice resonated with deeper truths, wild with emotion and frustration, empowered by Sam's courage. In that moment, it became apparent, a decision loomed larger than Jake's unwarranted reign over the room. Sam had ignited something among them, a flicker of change, an unshakable bond blooming from the seeds of dissent. But as the discussion grew more intense, a new thought slithered into Sam's mind. Would Jake retaliate for this uprising? Would he respond to this challenge by tightening his grip on the team, or could he be forced to acknowledge their strength? In that moment, Sam understood he had willingly ignited a wildfire, but no one yet knew what this blaze might consume. The time had come to face the consequences, whatever they might be. The energy in the coffee shop buzzed with the palpable tension of 1,000 unsaid words. Sam's heart raced, pounding a rhythm of synchronicity with the escalating debate among his colleagues. As he watched them engage, a sense of purpose coalesced within him. It was daunting to confront the entrenched power dynamic, and yet, this could be the moment when they all shifted from being mere victims of Jake's tyranny to standing united in their resolve. A woman named Clara, usually quiet and reserved, raised her hand tentatively. "Sam, I appreciate what you're saying, but what if standing together only makes things worse? Jake is not the kind of leader that takes dissent lightly." Her question penetrated the bubbling optimism lingering in the room like a cold gust of wind. Sam could feel the weight of her words. Would Jake respond with retaliation? Would their collective stance backfire and place them all in jeopardy? "We can't keep hiding," he responded, choosing his words carefully. "The longer we wait to address the problem, the deeper the roots of this toxic culture will grow. If we don't stand together, how can we expect anyone to respect our contributions?" He straightened his posture, his determination shining through his nervousness. "It's about more than just us, it's about creating an environment where everyone can thrive." The conversation retreated to silence, each individual reflecting on what it meant to confront their fears. Sam sensed the barrier beginning to crack, a flicker of realization igniting in their eyes. The notion of collaboration, of raising their voices, began to solidify like freshly poured concrete, sturdy yet unyielding. Then, Tom, a new yet ambitious member of the team, spoke up. "Sam, what do we do if this doesn't work? What's our plan B? I don't want to jeopardize my career if Jake retaliates." His question, pragmatic and piercing, echoed the unspoken fears dwelled upon by many others. Instead of crumbling under the weight of external scrutiny, Sam recognized an opportunity for leadership, a test of his emerging resolve. "Then we prepare for that too. We must document everything. If we decide to confront Jake, it's essential we have evidence of his behavior. Build a case around the toxic environment he has perpetuated. It's not just about us standing up, it's also about illustrating the consequences of his actions." With each word, Sam felt the constraints of fear loosening their grip, the strategy offering a newfound sense of empowerment. He vividly imagined the strength of a unified front, a bold coalition capable of dismantling Jake's stranglehold on their group. Sam encouraged each participant to write down their experiences, to highlight their ideas for improvement, giving them a voice in their own right. Emerging from the meeting, Sam felt invigorated. Words empowered him, but he was acutely aware that actions would cement this moment into reality. He understood that sharing his own story of humiliation wasn't merely about divulging personal pain, it was a critical step in galvanizing his colleagues into action. However, as confident as he felt amid this newfound camaraderie, an unsettling sensation coiled within him like a snake in the grass. What would happen when Jake discovered their intentions? Would he dismiss them, retaliate, or even become more brutal in his pursuit of conformity? Sam halted at the door, echoing Tom's hesitations inside his own mind. Each fear weighed upon his shoulders like an anvil. Yet among these fears lay determination. This was his moment to create real change, to redefine what leadership and respect looked like in their workplace. As they dispersed, Sam lingered for a moment longer, contemplating the challenges ahead. Little did he know, he was about to face a revelation of his own capabilities. In the days to come, he would discover strengths he had never tapped into before, but as he exited the coffee shop with an uneasy certainty settling in his gut, the ominous question loomed larger. Would he rise to the occasion, and in doing so, unleash a confrontation that would shatter the status quo within the company? The days following the meeting blurred together as Sam navigated a landscape fraught with tension. Each morning's commute to the office felt like a march into a battleground, his mind a whirlwind of strategies, fears, and steely resolve. He'd become increasingly aware of the weight of his colleagues' expectations. They were looking to him for direction, confirmation that their budding unity would lead to something meaningful. In the meetings that followed, he noticed the atmosphere shift, albeit subtly. Clara, once hesitant to contribute, began voicing her concerns more openly, while Tom's previously cautious demeanor morphed into spirited debate. Sam felt a stirring sense of pride. They were evolving, emerging from the cocoon of complacency. Yet beneath the surface, he wrestled with self-doubt. Could he truly guide them through this transformation? And what if he misstepped? During a tense team briefing, Jake's presence loomed large. He sat behind his desk, a granite figure radiating authority and condescension. Each condescending remark aimed at less experienced team members felt like a stab to Sam's resolve. It was clear that Jake noticed the shifts he had begun to direct his ire toward those who exhibited any signs of defiance. When Clara referenced a suggestion in the last team meeting, Jake cut her off, his voice a jagged edge. "Who do you think you are, Clara?" The words sliced through the room, gathering silence around them like a storm cloud. Sam felt a surge of anger, unbridled and raw. This was the kind of behavior they had talked about confronting, and yet he felt the familiar clench of fear tighten in his chest. This was not just a confrontation of ideals, this was a confrontation of power, and Jake wielded it like a weapon. "Jake, with all due respect," Sam started, his voice shaking slightly but gaining strength, "we're here to contribute ideas, not just to be shot down like we're beneath you." A tense silence enveloped them, and in that moment, Sam understood that the timing was critical. The reaction from his colleagues was a mixture of shock and encouragement. They were ready to back him, to stand with him. Jake's eyes narrowed, the battle lines drawn with words that resonated like a starter pistol. "What did you just say to me?" Jake questioned, his tone laced with incredulity. Sam's pulse raced, but clarity washed over him. The surge of adrenaline dispelled the self-doubt. This was a chance to catalyze the change he envisioned. "I said, we have ideas that deserve to be heard. If we want this team to thrive, we can't afford to stifle voices when we need innovation the most." There it was, the voice he had unearthed within himself. Each word ignited something deeper, a battle of wills anchored in professional integrity. Jake's demeanor shifted, the predator caught off guard. Anger flickered in his eyes, but there, too, was surprise. By standing firm, Sam had breached the facade of Jake's dominance. The shift in power was almost tangible. Feeling the swell of courage kick in from behind him, Tom spoke next, adding momentum to Sam's stand. "We deserve a healthy workspace," he chimed in, voice firm. "If our ideas are going to be dismissed, we might as well leave." Sam smiled inwardly. It was happening. They were rallying together without saying a word about it. The confrontation escalated as Jake responded with a barrage of criticism that only solidified their resolve. Sam watched as Clara and others began to jot down notes documenting the toxic environment in real time, just as they had discussed. As they gathered after the meeting, relief coursed through him, yet shadows of uncertainty lurked. Would Jake retaliate? What repercussions would they face for pushing back? It was in the kitchen as they celebrated this small victory that Sam's focus shifted towards something deeper: self-leadership. He realized leading wasn't just about confrontation. It was also about navigating the aftermath, about supporting each member of the team now that they had taken the first step, but with every step they took, the stakes heightened. Sam's resolve would soon be tested when Jake, wounded by humiliation, would retaliate in a way Sam couldn't anticipate, forcing him to confront not just a tyrant but the ramifications that could shake their very foundation. Would they be prepared for the storm that awaited them? The real challenge lay ahead. The tension in the office had shifted palpably, like the atmosphere before a storm. Sam spent the following days teetering between exhilaration from their small victory and anxiety over potential fallout. There was no doubt that confronting Jake had been a pivotal moment for the team. As Sam navigated the hallways, he could feel the eyes of his colleagues upon him. Some respected him even more, while others seemed to carry the burden of uncertainty. It became clear that whatever came next hinged not just on him but on how well he could continue to foster their emboldened spirit. In subsequent meetings, Sam took a different approach. He crafted an open forum model, encouraging every voice to matter, paving the way for a more democratic dialogue. He facilitated discussions where ideas could flow freely, weaving laughter amid serious debates, establishing an environment that countered Jake's oppressive reign. This approach yielded surprising results. Even the quieter voices emerged, so much so that Clara's ideas captivated the floor, eliciting nods of approval from skeptical colleagues. However, beneath this facade of progress, Sam felt a gnawing worry. What would happen when Jake finally decided to strike back? That thought began to plague him during every session. After one particularly robust meeting, Clara pulled him aside. "I think you're really onto something, Sam, but we need to be prepared. Jake won't just roll over." Her concern echoed in his mind. As he sank into his chair later that day, Sam grappled with conflicting emotions. He relished the newfound camaraderie among his colleagues but recognized the enormity of their situation. The anticipation of retaliation hung like a heavy shroud around the team's momentum. But was this confrontation growing into a personal challenge for him? Could he truly navigate this treacherous path? He reflected on the past few weeks, replaying the moments he once let fear dictate his actions. Each time he stood up for others, like calling out Jake's condescension, he reclaimed a fragment of himself. Yet fear still grasped at his thoughts, whispering that perhaps he would fail. Those thoughts led him to take a deeper dive into personal development amid the chaos. That evening, Sam decided to seek outside resources. He devoured books on leadership, gathering perspectives from various leaders who had faced similar conflicts. He felt drawn to those who had overcome adversity in oppressive workplace environments. As he penned notes, a hidden resolve formed within him. There was power in knowledge and preparedness, he realized. He took it a step further. Sam initiated informal gatherings after hours, creating a secure space for the team to discuss shared experiences. They shared concerns, strategized responses, and studied possible scenarios of Jake's retaliation together. Collectively, they grew stronger, the sense of unity solidified their purpose. It felt exhilarating to witness their bond strengthen, yet, despite moments of collective clarity and empowerment, doubt crept back in. One morning, as he flipped through notes from their last gathering, an email notification pinged an invite to a one-on-one with Jake. The message dripped with ambiguity, "Let us settle our differences." Sam's heart sank. His instincts screamed that this was a trap disguised as a conciliatory gesture. What would Jake demand in that meeting, and what would he inevitably ask of Sam? Such a confrontation felt inevitable, one that would either solidify Sam's leadership or shatter his newly earned confidence. As the clock ticked down to that meeting, Sam stood before the mirror, grappling with the reflection of a man caught at a crossroads. He knew he had to prepare not just for what Jake would say but for how deep the resolve of his principles ran. It was imperative to confront this challenge not merely to survive but to emerge resilient and unyielding. The walls felt like they were closing in, amplifying the natural urgency of a moment that could change everything. As he headed into the meeting, Sam realized the time had come to face not just Jake, but everything he had worked toward reclaiming his integrity. The stakes had never been higher, and he prepared himself for what came next, a showdown that would unveil secrets and test the fabric of their evolving team dynamics. The atmosphere in the small conference room felt suffocating, every second dragging unbearably as Sam prepared to face Jake. He took a deep breath, reminding himself of the changes he had worked so hard to orchestrate. This meeting was not just a confrontation, it was a pivotal moment for both himself and his team. Sam settled into the uncomfortable wooden chair, acutely aware of the slight tremor in his hands. The faint sound of ticking from the wall clock matched the quickening pace of his heart. They were now just moments away from a reckoning that could redefine his leadership. As Jake entered, his demeanor was composed, almost disarmingly casual. A stark contrast to the roiling emotion Sam felt. Jake's polished smile masked a predatory glint in his eyes, a clear indication that he was not pursuing a path of reconciliation. "Thank you for coming, Sam," Jake began, leaning back in his chair as if testing the waters. "I wanted to discuss our recent events. It's clear the atmosphere around here has shifted." Sam's stomach churned. "You mean the team standing up for themselves?" he countered, his voice steady despite the internal tempest. It was a bold move, testing the waters early on. Jake chuckled softly, a sound devoid of warmth, before continuing, "You've got a vivid imagination, Sam. But I believe we need to refocus. This isn't a battlefield, we're supposed to work together, remember?" Maintaining an innocent facade disguised as diplomacy, Jake's words dripped with sarcasm. Sam recognized the challenge hidden beneath the surface, an attempt to redirect the narrative and undermine Sam's newfound authority. "I believe in collaboration, Jake, but it's essential that every voice is heard, even the ones you overlooked," he asserted, summoning every ounce of courage. Jake's eyes narrowed, and the tension crackled in the air. "You think you can change the structure around here with a few smiles and some chit-chat?" This was more than just a meeting, it was a battle of wills, a test of his ability to stand firm. Sam recalled the late-night strategies discussed with Clara and the team, the collective determination fueling his resolve. He couldn't let doubt creep back in. "I think that the old way of doing things hasn't gotten us where we want to be. It's about collaboration, not oppression." Jake shifted, his expression darkening. "Are you suggesting that I've been oppressive?" The question hung in the air, heavy with implication. Sam weighed his response carefully. If he denied it, Jake would twist it as weakness. If he accepted it, he risked losing ground. "Your style has been dominant," he finally admitted, choosing his words wisely. Jake's expression hardened, and Sam sensed an impending backlash. "You need to remember, Sam, there are consequences for going against the grain," Jake warned, the menacing edge in his voice unmistakable. "This is your chance to be sensible. When you stand strong against the old guard, you draw fire." The underlying threat wasn't lost on Sam, and he felt a surge of anger. Was this how it would go? The threat of chaos lingering, hanging over them like a guillotine? "I'm prepared to handle whatever comes next," Sam stated, surprising even himself with the steadiness of his voice. He felt further emboldened by the team's unity behind him, the knowledge they shared, and his own journey of self-discovery. Jake's demeanor shifted from cautious to furious, but Sam pressed on, spurred by the notion that he was reclaiming power over his own narrative. He was not just wrestling with Jake, he was battling his own fears of inadequacy. "Don't underestimate the depth of my resolve, Jake. I will protect this team, and I will protect the values we stand for." The silence that followed felt like an eternity, winding tightly around their unresolved conflict. Jake's eyes traced Sam's features, assessing his conviction, and simply replied, "We'll see how far that resolve gets you." The dismissal stung, revealing the reality that Jake would not concede defeat easily. Yet, as Sam left the room, he felt an unfamiliar sense of empowerment. He was unshackled from the chains of fear, albeit still standing on a precipice, watching how events would unfold. Walking back to his desk, the whispered conversations of his team reached him, igniting sparks of hope. But as the door closed behind him, embracing his colleagues' supportive glances, Sam couldn't shake the rising tide of tension that loomed ahead. What traps had Jake set in place to dismantle their progress? Just a fleeting moment spent away from that treacherous web, and he feared the worst lay ahead. He would need to sharpen his mind and prepare his strategies for the inevitable darts Jake would hurl at their unity. With determination simmering beneath uncertainty, Sam gripped the edge of his desk, deeply aware of a nervous energy filling the room. Change was an inspiring endeavor, but it also birthed chaos. Each step forward came at a price, and the true test of their resilience was just beginning. Days passed in a haze of productivity for Sam. The confrontation with Jake had shifted something deep within him, igniting a fire he hadn't realized had been smoldering. Every time he entered the office, the walls seemed less oppressive. Colleagues greeted him with renewed confidence, their eyes sparkling with a shared determination. The palpable air of solidarity that filled the room stirred something inside Sam, a sense of purpose intertwined with a stubborn resolve. However, the lighter atmosphere was deceptive. Behind the scenes, Jake was meticulously plotting his retaliation, and Sam knew it. He could almost sense the undercurrents of discontent swirling just out of sight. The tension lay like a coiled snake, ready to strike when least expected. He could almost hear the whispers, the not-so-subtle assessments of his leadership. Sam felt a pressure mounting, one that enforced the notion that his every move was being scrutinized. In meetings with his team, Sam pushed for open dialogue, deliberately fostering an environment where everyone felt provided a voice. He led brainstorming sessions, cultivating a space ripe for ideas and creativity. Every time a team member shared a thought, Sam found himself committing their words to memory, the conviction that they were sharpening their collective wit engulfing him with pride. Yet even as his team thrived, doubts clung to Sam's mind like weeds. Had he overstepped? Had he miscalculated his support when the tides were clearly shifting against him? Each time he left the room, he discovered his confidence oscillated like a pendulum. For instance, during a brainstorming session focused on an upcoming project, he caught a glimpse of Jake's shadow lurking outside the glass door. He felt a sudden chill, as if the very sight of the man was a reminder of the threat looming just beyond the periphery of progress. Every glance toward the door was followed by a rush of adrenaline, pushing Sam to bolster his already sharpened resolve. Clara, his steadfast ally, had become a significant source of strength and motivation. After an animated session, she pulled him aside, concern etched across her features. "Are you okay, Sam? You seem distracted," she probed, her eyes searching his. Just thinking about Jake and the conversations I see happening around here, he confessed, the tension seeping into his voice. I know he's waiting for a misstep. Clara nodded, understanding the underlying weight of his fears. You have to steer this ship, but don't forget to trust the crew. We're all behind you. Sam appreciated her faith. But self-doubt was an insidious foe, gnawing at him when he allowed it. He steeled himself, acknowledging her encouragement as a lifeline he couldn't afford to ignore. That evening, he devised strategies to navigate possible backlashes, framing proactive responses to challenges he anticipated from Jake. Then came the evening of the project presentation meeting. The room hummed with expectation as Sam prepared the team to showcase their collaborative effort. They had collectively poured their hearts into this, crafting a presentation that represented not just their work but their renewed spirit and unity. As he approached the podium, adrenaline surged through him, challenging his earlier uncertainties. Let us show them what we've built together, he announced, his voice ringing clear as resolve pulsed through his veins. He felt their confidence reverberate back at him, a thriving ecosystem fueled by determination and purpose. As the slides transitioned, he sensed Jake watching intently from his seat, a shadow of scheming resentment fixed upon him. The moment of revealing their innovative ideas felt electric. But with every spark of enthusiasm came a whisper of apprehension echoing in the back of his mind. After the presentation concluded, applause resonated warmly, yet Sam couldn't shake the feeling that Jake was biding his time. As he returned to his desk, the atmosphere oscillated strange, buoyed with excitement yet tinged with unease. His phone buzzed, drawing him back to his screen, where an cryptic email awaited. The sender was unknown, but the message read ominously, "You don't know what's really at stake here." Sam stared at the words, the adrenaline pulsing in his veins. What conspiracy was brewing just out of sight? As a veil of uncertainty descended upon him, he felt the intensity of his commitment burning brighter than ever. The stakes had risen, and it was time to decipher the truth behind Jake's impending plan, or risk undoing everything he had fought for. He had a choice to make. Sam leaned in closer to the screen, intent on lifting the shadows threatening to engulf the progress they had made. What would he uncover as he confronted the unsettling truth? Sam's heart raced as he stared at the screen, the glow illuminating the tight lines of worry etched into his face. The words swirled in his mind, merging with the looming image of Jake and the threat that lingered like a storm cloud. It wasn't simply a matter of defending his leadership, it was about safeguarding the progress he had made with his team. The exhilaration from the presentation now felt small against the enormity of potential sabotage lurking in the shadows. Taking a deep breath, Sam crafted a mental checklist. He had to analyze every aspect of this email. Who could send such a cryptic message? Was it meant to intimidate or distract? He pictured the faces of his team, the unity they had formed, and suddenly the stakes felt personal not just for him, but for each member who had poured their passion into their work. He grabbed a notepad, jotting down everything he could think of that might shed light on the email's implications. What did he know about Jake's current maneuvers? He needed to make sense of the narrative swirling in the office, the half-whispers, and the unsteady glance that would punctuate conversations among his teammates. Lost in thought, he barely noticed Clara approaching his desk. She paused, observing the strained expression he tried to mask under a veneer of calm. "Hey, you're really deep in it, huh?" she said softly, suspicion lining her voice. Sam looked up, momentarily bewildered. "Clara, I received a weird email. It's unsettling. It suggests there's something bigger happening than we realize." "Bigger?" She lifted an eyebrow, crossing her arms. "Like what?" "I'm not sure. Maybe it's about Jake and whatever he's plotting. I just have this feeling he's trying to undermine everything we've worked for." Sam's voice dropped to a conspiratorial whisper. Clara leaned in, sensing the urgency. "Let us get ahead of him. If we work together, we might uncover what's brewing." We can't let fear dictate our actions, especially when we have each other." Her words reignited the fire within him. Sam nodded, appreciating her clarity. "You're right. If Jake's plotting, he can't be too careful. We need to gather intel, figure out who else might be in on this." Together, they strategized, plotting out possible pathways to encourage open communication within the team while discreetly observing Jake. They disguised their inquiries as casual team-building actions, engaging in conversations that could siphon off any information that might come up. As the days unfolded, Sam diligently monitored the atmosphere, attentively listening to conversations that left hints about alliances and hidden grudges. Every interaction felt magnified, every shared laugh a potential veil for deceit. In that whirlwind of uncertainty birthed a latent resilience. However, as he immersed himself in this investigation, the self-doubt that had periodically plagued him resurfaced. Could he truly lead his team through this turmoil? In moments of quiet reflection, he felt the weight of past failures amplify his insecurities. Memories of previous missteps haunted him, reshaping the narrative of competence he had been painstakingly building, but as he glanced at Clara working beside him, fully immersed in plans they had developed together, a surge of determination coursed through his veins. He could not and would not allow fear to dictate his capabilities. The trust he had nurtured with his team ignited a sense of responsibility that began to dilute the corrosive doubts. Just as he started feeling a semblance of control, Clara's phone buzzed angrily, the notification cutting through the thick tension in the air. She paused and paled, the sudden shift in her demeanor causing Sam's heart to skip a beat. "What's wrong?" he asked, anxiety coiling in his stomach. "It's from a coworker who works closely with Jake," she said, her voice trembling. Her fingers explored the screen frantically before freezing in place. "It says Jake knows the truth is more than we expected." "What truth?" Sam inquired, urgency creeping into his tone. Clara's gaze flickered back to Sam, a storm of uncertainty etched on her face. "I think we need to prepare ourselves. This might be bigger than we thought." This revelation ignited a fire in Sam's chest. He understood the gravity of the moment. Jake's response wouldn't just be competitive, it would be retaliatory. The presentiment of conflict loomed ahead, yet Sam felt the heat of resolve replace his earlier doubts. It was time to confront the impending chaos head-on, for every ounce of hesitation was an invitation for failure. As Sam stood, ready to face whatever revelation awaited him, he felt the undeniable hunger for clarity gripping him tighter. "Let us get to the bottom of this," he declared with a steady voice, the adrenaline surging through him. A chilling thought sliced through his resolve. What if uncovering the truth meant betraying secrets he was unprepared to confront? Sam's breath quickened as he wrestled with Clara's unsettling news. "The truth is more than we expected." What did that mean? Did Jake have information they lacked? Or was it a bluff, a gambit to rattle him further? Clara's uncertainty mirrored his own. They needed to act, but every move had to be calculated. He grabbed his phone, mind racing through potential allies. Who could they trust to share sensitive information without tipping off Jake? A creeping paranoia settled over him. Was everyone in the office a potential informant for Jake? "Let us check in with Nathan," Clara suggested, breaking through his spiral of darker thoughts. Nathan was the most level-headed member of the team and had a way of scheming without betraying his cards. "Agreed," Sam replied, grateful for her pragmatism. They approached Nathan's workspace, the click of their footsteps echoing unervingly in the corridor. Nathan looked up from his cluttered desk, his brow furrowing. "What is going on? You both look like you've seen a ghost." Sam took a deep breath, pushing his apprehensions aside. "We think there is something brewing with Jake. Clara received an email indicating he knows more than he lets on. We might need your insight." Nathan leaned back, a flicker of intrigue in his eyes. "Not good. Jake's been acting cagey lately. I overheard him talking to one of the higher-ups about shaking things up." Clara exchanged glances with Sam. They had assumed the threat was internal, but a wider scheme brushed against their reality, stretching the conflict beyond a one-on-one power struggle. "Is there anything else you've noticed?" Sam asked, keeping his voice steady, despite the knot in his stomach tightening further. "Well," Nathan hesitated, "there have been some new hires who seem to spend a lot of time around him. They're positioned in a way that would give them access to key projects. Are they a diversion or part of a larger ploy?" Clara mused. "Hard to say," Nathan shook his head, "but if they're spying for him, we might be in deeper trouble than we thought." The walls seemed to close in, the reality of betrayal looming larger. Sam felt a sense of urgency swell within. They were balancing on a knife's edge, and the equilibrium was fragile. "Then we need to get closer to those new hires. Find out if they're tied to Jake or just innocent players caught in this mess." Sam's resolve stiffened. He would not let fear dictate his steps or cloud his judgment. Paranoia could be the real enemy here, Nathan noted. You have to keep your eyes peeled, any misstep might set off alarms. As they strategized, a thought struck Sam like a lightning bolt, a new plan forming. Let us set a series of team-building exercises focused on projects involving those new hires. If we can invite them into a relaxed setting, we might draw out information without raising suspicion. Right, Clara replied, her eyes lighting up as she pieced it together. We can host informal brainstorming sessions, see if they let anything slip. Let us do this, Sam said, determination coursing through him. But a flicker of anxiety blazed alongside it. Would engaging with them truly yield anything beneficial, or would it put the team at greater risk? As they laid out their groundwork, Sam couldn't shake the lingering doubts. The stakes were rising, and the shadows around Jake deepened. Would he outright confront Jake if they uncovered something substantive? Would he risk it all for the truth, knowing that hidden secrets may lead to dark revelations about himself and the choices he would have to make? The path ahead throbbed with uncertainty. Sam sensed they were racing against time, narrowing the chances for mistakes. Our first meeting with those new hires is tomorrow, Clara reminded him, her voice tinged with eagerness and anxiety. As Sam prepared to leave, the weight of impending confrontation wrapped around him tightly. Could he pursue the truth without sacrificing his values? This test would define him as a leader and a person, then potentially shape the fate of his team. Let us move forward and face this head-on, he urged, feeling the adrenaline churning in his stomach. What awaited them on the other side might change everything. With each step he took away from Nathan's desk, Sam contemplated one haunting possibility. What would he discover about himself in this escalating web of deceit? The next morning dawned with a calmness that belied the storm brewing within Sam. He arrived early, the office still shrouded in silence, an eerie stillness that amplified his thoughts. Today, they would engage with the new hires, and beneath the surface of every casual conversation lay the weight of potentially life-altering revelations. Sam entered the conference room where they had arranged a series of informal brainstorming sessions designed to include the new individuals and to gauge their roles. His team began to filter in, their faces etched with anticipation mixed with underlying apprehension. They were about to embark on a critical mission to uncover not just the allegiances of the outsiders but also the potential ramifications of their actions. As the meeting commenced, visual aids dotted the space, offering a semblance of normalcy amidst the charged air. He introduced the new hires, maintaining a relaxed tone, but inside he felt a tempest of thoughts churning. Every word was calculated, aiming to create an environment that invited organic conversation while retaining the tactical edge he had worked so hard to cultivate. Over the next hour, Sam guided the discussions, glancing at the new hires for signs of sincerity, testing the waters while fostering a nurturing atmosphere. As the dialogue flowed, he discovered that understated insights cropped up in the most unexpected places. Clara worked seamlessly beside him, subtly weaving questions into the discussions designed to elicit candid responses from their guests. The breakthrough arrived when a new hire named Evan, candid and genuinely intrigued, commented on how he admired the creative synergy within the team. Sam seized the moment. "What have you noticed so far about our dynamics?" he inquired, leaning in, intentionally drawing Evan deeper into the conversation. I've seen strong leadership, Evan replied, visibly sincere. But I do catch hints of uncertainty. What's the vibe from the top? I'd love to know how it shapes your ideas. The line of questioning laid bare the undercurrents of concern. Sam glanced around the table, feeling the weight of collective eyes resting on him, urging him to maintain momentum. There have definitely been challenges, particularly around fostering a fully inclusive environment, he admitted, carefully testing the waters. How do you think changes in leadership style might influence success? Evan's response resonated with the assembly, and he utilized the opportunity to share a vital observation: sometimes a fresh perspective can shake things up in a good way. I hope we can work together effectively. I also sense some tension lingering, like unresolved conflicts. The revelation sent shockwaves through the room. Sam felt a shudder pass through him, but knew this could also serve to galvanize action. He recognized the moment a collective realization dawning. That's immensely valuable feedback. We need to prioritize a sense of safety and transparency. It's time we address not just the larger issues but the interpersonal ones too, he declared, fortifying his emerging leadership. As they delved deeper, engaging back-and-forth discussions yielded golden nuggets of insight. They were building connections. Laughter and camaraderie began to fill the void left by past uncertainties. Even as Sam shared moments of vulnerability, he sensed the facade of fear crumbling. After the session, Clara and Nathan approached Sam, their faces bright. Did you feel that? Clara almost gushed. We're onto something watching them engage with each other like that. Yes, Sam replied, exhilarated. It feels like we're igniting genuine conversations. We still need to tread carefully, but I think they could unite behind us. If we can continue fostering this dialogue, we may uncover crucial insights about Jake's plot. With each moment spent tasting this newfound unity, Sam's confidence solidified. The uncertainty that had once pervaded his every thought was giving way to a sense of empowerment. They could return to Jake with real force if he dared to move against them. Again, however, beneath that conviction lingered a specter of anxiety: what Jake might retaliate with after sensing their momentum shift. The meticulous preparations Sam had orchestrated required resilience in navigating the forthcoming turbulence. As the day drew to a close, Sam felt invigorated yet mindful of the stakes escalating. He and his allies had dismantled an environment of fear with collaborative strength, but a line still hung heavily in the air. What explosive fallout waited around the corner? Days passed seamlessly as their collaborative efforts bore fruit. The team experienced a marked shift, culminating in increasingly productive meetings. They had cultivated resilience, bonding not through shared fear but through shared aspirations and dreams. Yet, Sam always felt a nagging sensation in the pit of his stomach: the uncertain knowledge that Jake would not remain down for long. Their adversary thrived on exertion of influence, and as Sam entered the office one morning, he sensed an ominous stillness reverberating through the air. The door to the conference room swung open, revealing Jake standing against the backdrop of conference room glass, arms crossed defiantly. Let's cut to the chase, shall we? Jake began, voice low yet laced with bitterness. I know what you all have been doing, this little charade of camaraderie you're putting on. You think unity will protect you? You're wrong. With that pronouncement, Sam's heart trudged heavily in his chest. The moment of reckoning had arrived. Sam exchanged a quick glance with Clara, who nodded, their bond tightly woven in understanding. They were not just going to survive this, we were poised to thrive. Jake, Sam replied, feeling the weight of gravity sink into his words, we're not hiding anymore. We've realized our strength and we're here to ensure that everyone's voice matters. The muffled reactions from his team spoke volumes. They were prepared for this confrontation, ready to stand firm. Sam felt a surge of power, encapsulated in the belief that confrontation would catalyze a lasting transformation, but as Jake squared off against him, Sam discovered a deeper truth within his journey. When confronted by adversity head-on and grounded in shared purpose, there existed an overwhelming strength in unity, fueling authentic resolve to fight for what was right. In that split second, the realization washed over him: it wasn't just about winning against Jake, it was about defining their Workplace as a space where individuality was celebrated, not stifled. Jake had underestimated the inner fortitude of a united team. With newfound resolve, Sam stood tall, emboldened by the belief that he was finally ready to conquer fear and reshape the narrative, shaping a workplace of authenticity where voices could rise unshackled by ignorance. As he faced Jake, he knew he had laid the groundwork for not just surviving but flourishing, a journey defined not just by individual triumph but collective resilience. They would reclaim not just their voices, but the very essence of their dignity that had long been denied. Now was their moment together. They would rise. In this defining instant, Sam had not just transformed, he had become a catalyst for meaningful change. It was a rebirth of confidence, a testament to the power of standing united against the tides of oppression. Remember to stand with yourself because your journey can ignite the fire of transformation. If you resonated with Sam's story, you need to subscribe now to the channel to not miss the next exclusive emotional tales of overcoming adversity. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and keep this powerful message alive. Comment below your thoughts or theories about the incredible evolution of Sam. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformative conclusion.